Welcome, everyone, to today's episode of our podcast, where learning English becomes an exciting journey. Let me ask you this. Have you ever had a song stuck in your head all day? You're humming it, singing it, and, without even realizing, you've memorized the lyrics. Now imagine if that song wasn't just catchy, but actually helped you improve your English. Sounds fun, right? Well, today, Sophia and I are going to show you exactly how to learn English through songs.
That's right, Adam. Songs are like little treasure chests of vocabulary, pronunciation, and culture. Whether you're just starting to learn English or you're looking to sound more natural, music is your secret weapon. Trust me, this is going to be the most entertaining way you've ever learned a language.
And here's the best part. We're not just going to talk about it. We're going to break down songs, share tips, and even give you fun exercises you can try right away. So stick around because by the end of this episode, you'll not only learn how to use music to boost your English, but also fall in love with learning all over again.
You know, Adam, when I was learning Spanish, I used to sing along to my favorite songs, even though I didn't understand half the words at first. But as I kept listening, I started picking up new phrases, understanding grammar, and improving my pronunciation, all while having fun. And that's exactly what we're going to help our listeners do with English today.
So grab your headphones, turn up the volume, and get ready to transform your English skills one song at a time. Let's dive in. All right, let's start with the big question. Why are songs such an incredible tool for learning English? Think about it. Songs are everywhere. You hear them on the radio, in TV shows, in movies, in commercials, and even when you're walking through a shopping mall. They're an unavoidable part of our lives. But here's the cool thing. While you're tapping your feet or humming along, you're also learning, without even realizing it. Songs expose you to real, everyday English in a way that feels natural and fun. They're not just entertainment. They're like a secret language lesson wrapped in a catchy melody. And here's something even better. Songs are memorable. You've probably had a song stuck in your head before, right? Maybe you couldn't stop singing the chorus or repeating a particular line. That's because music has this magical way of making things stick in our brains. Now imagine if that song wasn't just catchy, but actually helped you learn new words, understand grammar, and improve your pronunciation. Sounds like a win-win, doesn't it? Sophia, don't you think one of the most powerful benefits of learning English through songs is how they help with vocabulary building?
Absolutely, Adam. Songs are like little treasure troves of vocabulary. When you listen to a song, you're not just hearing words, you're experiencing them in context. Let me give you an example. Take the song Happy by Pharrell Williams. The word happy is repeated so many times throughout the song that it's impossible to forget. But it's not just the word itself, it's how it's used. The lyrics go, "Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof." That's such a unique way to express happiness, isn't it? It's poetic, it's creative, and it sticks in your mind. And here's another thing about songs. They often include phrases and expressions that native speakers use all the time, but that you might not find in a textbook. For instance, in Let It Be by the Beatles, the phrase "let it be" means to accept things as they are. It's such a simple phrase, but it carries so much meaning. Songs like this teach you not just words, but also how to use them in real life. And because the lyrics are set to music, you're much more likely to remember them. What do you think, Adam? Have you noticed how songs help with listening skills too?
Absolutely, Sophia. In fact, I think songs are one of the best ways to train your ears to understand English. When you listen to a song, you're not just hearing the words, you're also picking up on how they're pronounced, how they flow together, and even how emotions are conveyed through tone and rhythm. Take Someone Like You by Adele, for example. Her voice is so full of emotion, and you can hear every little detail in her pronunciation. It's almost like listening to a conversation, but with music. And here's something I always tell English learners. Don't just listen to songs, really pay attention to them. Focus on how the singer emphasizes certain words or syllables. Notice how their voice rises and falls. This is what we call intonation, and it's a huge part of sounding natural in English. For example, in Shape of You by Ed Sheeran, you can hear how he stresses certain words to match the beat of the music. It's not just about the lyrics, it's about the melody of the language itself. And when you sing along, you're practicing all of this without even realizing it.
That's such a great point, Adam. And let's talk about pronunciation for a moment, because I think songs are one of the most fun ways to improve how you sound in English. When you sing along to a song, you're mimicking the singer's accent, their rhythm, and even their breathing patterns. It's like a vocal workout. For example, if you sing along to Rolling in the Deep by Adele, you'll notice how she pronounces rolling with that soft G sound at the end. By copying her, you're training your mouth and tongue to form English sounds correctly. And the best part? You don't have to be a great singer to benefit from this. It's not about hitting the right notes, it's about practicing how to shape the words. And because you're singing, it doesn't feel like work. It feels like fun. Plus, singing helps you build confidence. You're not just learning English, you're performing it. And that's a big step toward becoming fluent.
You're so right, Sophia. And there's actually some science behind this. Studies have shown that when you learn something through music, it stays in your memory longer. The melody acts like a kind of glue that helps your brain hold on to the words. Think about it. You probably still remember the alphabet song or nursery rhymes from when you were a kid. That's the power of music. It makes learning stick in a way that's hard to beat. And here's another thing I love about learning English through songs. It's not just educational, it's emotional. Music connects with us on a deeper level. When you hear a song that moves you, it's not just the words you remember, it's the feeling. That emotional connection makes learning even more powerful. Sophia, do you have any recommendations for songs that are great for beginners?
Definitely, Adam. For beginners, I always recommend starting with songs that have simple lyrics and a slow tempo. For example, The Count on Me by Bruno Mars is a fantastic choice. The lyrics are easy to understand, and the melody is so soothing. Another great option is Imagine by John Lennon. It's slow, clear, and full of meaningful vocabulary. And for absolute beginners, you can even start with children's songs like Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. They're simple, repetitive, and perfect for building confidence. But for our intermediate and advanced learners, I'd suggest exploring songs that challenge you a bit more. For instance, if you're ready to tackle slang and fast-paced lyrics, try Lose Yourself by Eminem. It's like a workout for your ears and your brain. And if you want to learn idiomatic expressions, songs like Rolling in the Deep are full of them. The key is to choose songs you enjoy, because when you love what you're listening to, learning becomes effortless.
That's so true, Sophia. And for everyone listening, remember this. Songs are not just about the words. They're about the experience. They're about connecting with the language in a way that feels personal and meaningful. So whether you're singing along to Let It Be or dancing to Happy, you're not just having fun. You're becoming a better English speaker. And that's what makes learning through music so special. Now that we've explored why songs are such a fantastic tool for learning English, let's talk about something equally important: how to choose the right songs. The world of music is so vast, and there are so many genres, artists, and styles to explore. But when it comes to learning English, not all songs are created equal. You don't want to choose songs that are too difficult or too fast-paced, because they could make you feel overwhelmed. On the other hand, you also don't want to pick songs that are too simple, because they won't challenge you enough. So, how do you find that sweet spot? Sophia, I know you've spent a lot of time listening to music in English, so what would you recommend for our listeners who are just starting to choose the right songs?
Great question, Adam. I always say the first thing you should look for is the tempo. The speed of the song plays a huge role in how easy it is to understand the lyrics. For beginners, I recommend starting with songs that have a slower tempo. This gives you time to catch each word and really focus on pronunciation. Songs with clear, distinct enunciation will also make a big difference. Think about classics like Imagine by John Lennon or Stand By Me by Ben E. King. These songs are not only slow and clear, but they also feature beautiful, easy-to-understand vocabulary. It's almost like a vocal workout because they give you the chance to mimic the pronunciation of native speakers without feeling rushed.
Exactly. And the beauty of slower songs is that they allow you to focus on the details. When you're just starting out, it's important to break down the lyrics slowly and pay attention to each word. Take a song like Hello by Adele. Her voice is so crisp and the lyrics are pretty straightforward. You can easily follow along with her, and it gives you a chance to really internalize the words. But let's not forget, even with slower songs, you should still enjoy the music. That's key to keeping your motivation high. So, if a slow ballad feels like a drag, it might not be the best choice for you.
That's so true. You've got to pick songs that you enjoy, because if you don't like the music, you won't be as motivated to listen to it again and again. And the beauty of music is that there's something for everyone. If you love upbeat music, there are tons of great songs that are not too fast and still have clear pronunciation. For example, Happy by Pharrell Williams is upbeat, fun, and filled with simple vocabulary. It's not too fast, and it's repetitive, which makes it easy to remember. The lyrics also use a lot of common phrases like clap along, which is something you might hear in everyday conversation.
Exactly, Sophia. I love Happy because it's so easy to sing along to, and it's one of those songs that can really brighten your mood while helping you learn. It's also packed with simple yet useful vocabulary. But here's another thing to keep in mind when choosing a song: the clarity of the lyrics. Some songs, especially in genres like rap or rock, might be hard to follow because the lyrics are slurred, fast, or even mumbled. So, while Lose Yourself by Eminem is a fantastic song, it might be challenging for someone just starting out with English. In those cases, it's better to focus on songs where the singer's pronunciation is clear and distinct.
That's a really important point, Adam. Clear lyrics make a huge difference, especially for beginners. You don't want to get frustrated by not being able to understand what's being said. A good trick is to listen to the song once or twice without looking at the lyrics. If you can catch most of the words, that's a great sign. If you're struggling, then it might be better to choose a different song. Another thing to consider is the genre. Some genres, like pop or folk, tend to have clearer and more repetitive lyrics, making them easier to follow. On the other hand, songs in genres like hip-hop or alternative rock can be a bit more challenging, especially because of slang or fast rhythms.
Great point about genres. And if you're looking for a challenge once you're more comfortable with the basics, genres like rap or indie rock can push your skills further. But let's go back to something that I think is incredibly important for choosing the right songs: lyrics with a story. Songs that tell a story are fantastic because they give you context. For example, The Story of My Life by One Direction or Jolene by Dolly Parton are songs that have clear narrative lyrics. Understanding the story behind the song can help you understand the vocabulary and phrases in context. When you understand the meaning behind the lyrics, they become easier to remember.
Yes, exactly. Storytelling songs are gold for learning. The context helps you remember the words because they're connected to something meaningful. And that's the magic of music. It's not just about memorizing vocabulary, it's about connecting that vocabulary to emotions, stories, and experiences. I also recommend paying attention to the repetition of words and phrases in the song. The more a word is repeated, the easier it is to remember. For instance, in Let It Be by the Beatles, the phrase "let it be" is repeated throughout the song, which helps you really internalize its meaning. Repetition in music makes it feel less like studying and more like a fun, natural process.
That's such a great point, Sophia. Repetition is key to retention, and music makes it feel effortless. And for our listeners who are a little further along in their English journey, you might want to try songs that use a bit more advanced vocabulary or idiomatic expressions. Songs like Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen or Hotel California by the Eagles are great for that. The lyrics are rich in metaphors and idioms, which will stretch your understanding of the language and expose you to a different level of expression. But don't worry if you don't understand everything right away. The goal is to keep challenging yourself while enjoying the music.
Absolutely, it's all about balance. Start with songs that are easy and fun, and then gradually work your way up to more complex lyrics. And remember, it's okay to not understand every single word. The more you listen, the more those words will make sense. So my advice is to find a mix of songs you love. Some simple and clear, some challenging and full of new vocabulary. And don't forget, as you listen to more songs, your ear will get better at picking up words and understanding their meaning in context.
Now that we've covered how to choose the right songs, let's dive into something even more exciting: breaking down the lyrics. One of the best ways to learn English through songs is to truly understand what's being said, not just sing along without thinking about it. And trust me, breaking down the lyrics can unlock a whole new level of learning. It's not just about knowing the words. It's about understanding the context and the meaning behind those words. So, how do we do this? Well, the first step is to understand the context. When you listen to a song, pay attention to the overall message the singer is trying to convey. What's the story? What emotions are involved? And once you understand that, the lyrics start to make sense in a deeper way. Take a song like Imagine by John Lennon, for example. The lyrics are simple, but they're also profound, filled with meaning and deep reflections on society and the world we live in. Sophia, you've worked with songs like this before. How do you approach analyzing lyrics?
Great question, Adam. Breaking down lyrics is such a rewarding process, and Imagine is the perfect example of a song with layers of meaning. When I listen to a song like that, I first ask myself, what is the singer trying to tell me? In Imagine, John Lennon asks us to imagine a world without borders, without possessions, and without conflict. The song is asking us to picture a more peaceful, united world, and that message is so powerful. But when you break down the lyrics, you start to see how each word and phrase plays a role in communicating that message. Let's take the word brotherhood from the song. When Lennon sings, "Imagine all the people living life in peace," you may say, "I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one." The idea of brotherhood comes to life. Brotherhood here isn't just about being brothers in a family. It's about a sense of unity and connection between all people. So, understanding that word in the context of the song makes it much more impactful. That's why understanding the meaning behind each word is so important.
Exactly. That's what makes breaking down lyrics so fascinating. It's not just about vocabulary. It's about understanding the cultural and emotional context behind the words. For example, take the word possessions in Imagine. When John Lennon sings, "Imagine no possessions, I wonder if you can," he's not just talking about physical items. He's challenging us to think about how materialism can create division and inequality in the world. By breaking down the meaning of possessions, we understand that Lennon is asking us to imagine a world where people are not defined by what they own, but by who they are and how they treat each other. So, breaking down a song's lyrics like this isn't just a way to improve your vocabulary, it's a way to connect with the song on a deeper level. And that's what makes learning English through music so special. But it's not just about individual words. Sometimes songs use idioms, metaphors, and cultural references that you might not be familiar with. Let's talk about that for a second. Sophia, how do you recognize and understand idioms or metaphors in a song?
Great point, Adam. Recognizing idioms and metaphors is one of the most exciting parts of analyzing lyrics. A metaphor is when you say something is something else to make a comparison. And an idiom is a phrase whose meaning is different from the literal meaning of the words. For example, in Imagine, Lennon sings, "Imagine there's no heaven." This isn't a literal request. He's using a metaphor to challenge us to think beyond our current beliefs and limitations. It's not about imagining a place called heaven. It's about imagining a world where peace and unity come before division and conflict. And as for idioms, many songs are full of them. For example, if you listen to "Let It Be" by the Beatles, you'll hear the phrase "let it be," which is an idiom meaning to accept things as they are. In this context, It's about letting go of worries and trusting that everything will work out in the end. Recognizing these expressions helps you understand the song on a deeper level and helps you use those idioms in your own conversations.
Absolutely, Sophia. And one of the reasons songs are so effective for learning idioms and metaphors is because they often appear in cultural contexts. The phrases or references used in songs may not always make sense if you don't understand the culture behind them. For example, in American Pie by Don McLean, there are references to historical events and pop culture that are key to understanding the song. Without knowing about things like the day the music died, you might miss some of the song's meaning. So, when you break down the lyrics, it's also important to look at the cultural background.
Exactly, Adam. Understanding the cultural references in songs helps you connect with the song's deeper message. For example, when you listen to Born in the USA by Bruce Springsteen, you can hear the references to American culture, history, and politics. If you don't understand those cultural references, you might miss out on what the song is truly saying about American identity and the struggles of the working class. But once you get the cultural context, the lyrics come to life in a new way.
That's a great point, Sophia. And let's not forget, when we break down lyrics, we're not just focusing on individual words, we're also thinking about the message of the song as a whole. In Imagine, for example, the message is clear. We should dream of a world where people live in harmony without war or division. It's a message of peace and unity, and the power of that message lies in the simplicity of the lyrics. Even though the song uses relatively simple vocabulary, it carries a profound idea that has resonated with people for decades.
Exactly. And that's the beauty of music. It allows us to connect with ideas and emotions that might be difficult to express in words alone. Songs have a way of communicating universal truths in a way that's accessible to everyone, no matter where you're from or what language you speak. So when you break down lyrics, you're not just learning new words, you're learning about the world around you and the people who wrote the song. That's why I always encourage learners to dive into the lyrics and ask questions. What does this phrase mean? Why did the artist choose this word? What message are they trying to communicate? The more you analyze the lyrics, the more you'll understand not just the language, but the culture and the emotions behind it.
All right, we've covered choosing the right songs and breaking down lyrics. But now let's dive into something that can really elevate your English learning: improving your pronunciation through singing. This is such a fun and effective way to improve your accent, rhythm, and overall fluency. You might be wondering, how does singing help with pronunciation? Well, when you sing, you're actually practicing the natural rhythm and melody of the language. Songs are full of stress patterns, intonation, and flow, which is exactly how we speak in real life. So, mimicking the way a singer pronounces words can help you sound more natural in conversation. Sophia, you've done this before with some of your students, right? How does singing help with pronunciation?
Absolutely, Adam. Singing is like a workout for your mouth. When you sing along with a song, you're practicing not just individual words, but also how to stress certain syllables and phrases in a way that mirrors natural speech. It's a lot like how native speakers use rhythm and melody in their daily conversations. For example, in a song like Shape of You by Ed Sheeran, the rhythm of the song can help you understand how to stress words in a natural way. When you sing, you're forced to slow down and pronounce each word clearly, which helps improve your overall fluency. But the fun part is, you're not just learning to pronounce individual words, you're also learning to speak with intonation and emotion, which is so important for sounding natural in English. It's like you're getting a free pronunciation lesson while having fun.
Exactly. And the beauty of singing is that it lets you practice pronunciation in a more relaxed, enjoyable way. You're not just drilling vocabulary, you're feeling the rhythm and flow of the language. Let's do a little fun exercise right now to show how this works. I'm going to sing a line from a song with exaggerated pronunciation, and then Sophia will repeat it more naturally, like how a native speaker would. Ready, Sophia?
Ready as I'll ever be, Adam.
Okay, here we go. Here comes the sun. Do, 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 do.
Ha ha ha. Okay. Now I'll do it more naturally. Here comes the sun. Do, 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 do.
See what I mean? The exaggerated pronunciation helps to emphasize the important sounds and rhythm of the words. It's a fun way to train your mouth to pronounce sounds that might be tricky, like the th sound in the, or the long vowels in words like sun and come. It's not just about the words themselves, it's about how they flow in a sentence. Singing helps you practice that rhythm.
That was fun, Adam. And listeners, you can totally try this with any song. Just pick a line, sing it out loud with exaggerated pronunciation, and then repeat it naturally. It'll help you get comfortable with the rhythm and flow of English. You can also experiment with different songs to work on specific sounds or accents. For example, if you want to work on your R sounds, try singing along with songs that have a lot of R in them, like Rolling in the Deep by Adele. The more you practice, the more natural your pronunciation will sound.
Exactly. And if you're feeling a bit more adventurous, let's throw in a little tongue twister challenge. Tongue twisters are a great way to practice pronunciation because they force you to articulate each sound clearly. So, I've got a fun one for you, and it's actually from a song. The song I'm Yours by Jason Mraz has some great tongue twister moments. The lyrics go like this. Well, I won't hesitate no more, no more. It cannot wait, I'm sure. Now, let's try singing it slowly and clearly, and then we'll speed it up. Ready?
Ready, let's do it!
Well, I won't hesitate no more, no more. It cannot wait, I'm sure.
Well, I won't hesitate no more, no more. It cannot wait, I'm sure.
Nice job, Sophia. Now let's speed it up a bit. Well, I won't hesitate no more, no more. It cannot wait, I'm sure.
Okay, here we go. Well, I won't hesitate no more, no more. It cannot wait, I'm sure.
Great job. See, that's a fun way to work on both rhythm and pronunciation at the same time. And for our listeners, you can do the same. Sing along with songs like I'm Yours, or any other song that challenges you to pronounce tricky words quickly. Not only will you be improving your accent, but you'll also be practicing fluency. And the more you practice, the more confident you'll become.
Exactly. So, listeners, we encourage you to sing along with your favorite songs, but focus on the pronunciation. Exaggerate the sounds and then repeat them naturally. You'll be amazed at how much it helps you sound more like a native speaker. Remember, pronunciation isn't about being perfect, it's about being clear and natural. So don't be afraid to sing out loud and have fun with it.
All right, we've covered some fun exercises for pronunciation, but now let's dive into one of the most exciting parts of learning English through music, exploring different genres. Each genre of music has its own unique benefits when it comes to language learning, and the great thing is that there's something for everyone. Whether you're into pop, rock, country, or even hip-hop, there's a whole world of music waiting for you to explore and learn from. So, let's take a look at how different genres can help improve your English skills. Let's start with one of the most popular genres, pop music. Pop songs are a fantastic way to learn because they often have easy vocabulary and repetitive lyrics, which make them easier to understand and memorize. If you think about artists like Taylor Swift or Ed Sheeran, you'll notice that their songs tend to have catchy choruses and simple, relatable lyrics that anyone can sing along to. Sophia, what's your take on pop music as a learning tool?
Pop music is definitely a great starting point for learners. The lyrics are often clear, and the vocabulary is simple and straightforward. Because pop songs are so catchy, you end up listening to them over and over again, which is perfect for reinforcing vocabulary and improving listening comprehension. Take Taylor Swift's Shake It Off, for example. The song has a repetitive chorus, and by singing along, you're not only practicing pronunciation but also reinforcing phrases like shake it off and haters gonna hate. Those kinds of repetitive phrases stick in your memory, and before you know it, you're using them in everyday conversations.
Exactly. Pop songs are great for building up your vocabulary and getting familiar with common expressions. Now, let's move on to another genre that's packed with unique expressions and energy: rock music. Rock songs, especially from legends like Queen or the Beatles, often have more complex lyrics, but they're also filled with expressions that you won't find in everyday conversation. The energy of rock music makes it an exciting genre to explore because it helps you practice your intonation and emotional expression in English. For example, think of Queen's iconic song, "We Will Rock You." The lyrics might be simple, but the energy and the rhythm behind them help you understand how to emphasize certain words. Plus, there are lots of cultural references in rock songs that can teach you about the history and spirit of English-speaking countries. Sophia, what's your experience with rock music and language learning?
Rock music is so much fun to learn from. The energy in rock songs really gets you pumped up, and that's a huge benefit for your speaking skills. When you sing along with rock songs, you're practicing how to project your voice, stress words, and use emotion to communicate, which are all key to sounding more natural in English. For example, in Hey Jude by the Beatles, there's a lot of emphasis on the word better, and you can hear how they stretch the vowel sound. It's a great way to work on your vowel pronunciation. And if you pay attention to the lyrics, you'll also come across some cool slang and informal expressions that are common in everyday English. So rock music helps you build vocabulary, but it also teaches you how to express emotions through words.
Absolutely. Now let's talk about a genre that's known for its clear storytelling and pronunciation: country music. If you want to learn how to tell a story in English, there's no better genre than country. Artists like Dolly Parton and Johnny Cash are masters at weaving stories into their songs, and the lyrics are often crystal clear. This makes country music a fantastic way to practice both listening comprehension and pronunciation. Country songs tend to have simple vocabulary and slow tempos, so you can really focus on the individual sounds and how words flow together. Plus, the storytelling aspect of country music gives you a chance to practice understanding context and following a narrative. For example, in Dolly Parton's Jolene, you get a story about love, jealousy, and pleading, and the way she delivers those emotions in the lyrics teaches you how to express yourself in English in a more natural, emotional way. What do you think, Sophia?
Country music is a fantastic way to learn because it really helps you understand how to connect words and pronounce them clearly. The slower tempo gives you time to listen and focus on each word, and the storytelling aspect makes it easier to remember phrases and expressions. Plus, the lyrics are often full of expressions and idioms that are used in everyday conversation, like, "I'm going to make it through," or "I've got a feeling." These expressions might sound simple, but they carry a lot of meaning. And, like you said, the storytelling aspect is key. Songs like Folsom Prison Blues by Johnny Cash tell vivid stories that are full of useful vocabulary. Country music is also a great genre for learning how to express emotions through language, which is so important in everyday conversations.
Great points, Sophia. Now, for those of you who are into more modern, fast-paced genres, hip-hop and rap might be right up your alley. This genre is all about expanding your vocabulary and learning slang. If you listen to artists like Eminem or Macklemore, you'll notice that their lyrics are packed with unique expressions, slang, and wordplay. The speed of rap forces you to keep up with the flow, which is fantastic for improving both listening skills and fluency. For example, Eminem's songs are filled with clever rhymes and intricate wordplay. His lyrics may be challenging, but they teach you how to use rhythm and intonation in spoken English. And rap is also full of cultural references and slang, which is a great way to get familiar with the language used by younger generations. It's not just about learning vocabulary, it's about learning how people really speak in casual settings. What do you think, Sophia?
Hip-hop and rap are incredible for learning because they teach you authentic real-world language. The slang and expressions in rap songs are often the kind of words you won't find in textbooks, but they're essential for sounding natural in everyday conversations. For example, phrases like "spit fire" or "keep it real" are common in rap, and learning these helps you understand how to communicate in a more informal, casual way. Plus, the speed of the lyrics forces you to improve your listening and speaking speed. So, if you're up for a challenge and want to dive into slang and rhythm, hip-hop is definitely a great genre to explore.
Exactly. So, the key takeaway here is that each genre offers something unique to your learning journey. Whether it's the catchy repetition of pop, the emotional storytelling of country, the energy of rock, or the rhythm and slang of hip-hop, every genre helps you improve different aspects of your English skills. But here's a tip from me: start with the genres you enjoy. When you listen to music you love, it's much easier to stay motivated and engaged. So, if you're a fan of pop, dive into those songs first. If you love the energy of rock, go for it. Whatever genre excites you, use that excitement to fuel your learning. You'll have more fun and you'll learn faster.
Absolutely. And don't be afraid to mix things up. Listen to different genres, experiment with new artists, and see how each one helps you improve your English. The most important thing is to have fun with it. Music is meant to be enjoyed, and when you enjoy it, learning becomes a natural part of the process.
All right, listeners, welcome back. We've covered pronunciation, vocabulary, and different music genres, but now it's time to explore something that often feels like a challenge for English learners: grammar. I know. Grammar can seem boring and difficult, but here's the cool part. You can actually learn grammar naturally through songs. Music is a fantastic way to practice grammar without even realizing it. Let's start with a classic that everyone knows, Yesterday by the Beatles. This song is an excellent example of how you can learn past tense. The lyrics are simple, but they use the past tense beautifully, and the song is repetitive, which helps reinforce the grammar. So, if you listen closely, you'll hear phrases like, "Yesterday, all my troubles seemed so far away." The verb seemed is in the past tense, and the whole song is a great exercise in learning how to express things that happened in the past. Sophia, do you use songs like "Yesterday" in your lessons?
Definitely, Adam. Yesterday is one of my favorites for teaching the past tense. It's such a beautiful song, and the lyrics are so easy to understand. The entire song is built around the simple past tense, which is one of the most important tenses in English. By singing along with it, learners can get a feel for how to use the past tense in a natural way. Plus, because the song is so repetitive, it makes it easier to remember how to use these verbs in different contexts. You're not just memorizing grammar rules, you're internalizing them through the song's flow.
Exactly. And what's amazing is that you're not just learning grammar in isolation, you're hearing it used in context, which makes it easier to remember. Now, let's move on to another song that's perfect for learning conditional sentences, If I Were a Boy by Beyoncé. This song uses the second conditional a lot, which is all about imagining situations that are hypothetical or unreal. In the chorus, Beyoncé sings, "If I were a boy, I think I could understand." The structure of the sentence is a perfect example of the second conditional, where you have if plus past simple in the first part of the sentence and would in the second part. Sophia, this song is full of hypothetical situations, right?
Absolutely, Adam. If I Were a Boy is a brilliant example of how music can teach the second conditional in a natural and emotional way. The song is full of hypothetical statements, like, "If I were a boy, I would treat you like a lady." These are imaginary situations, and the song gives learners a chance to hear how the second conditional works in real-life conversation. It's one of those songs that's both emotional and grammatically educational. It teaches you how to talk about unreal situations in English while connecting with the feelings in the song. I always recommend this one to students who want to understand how to use conditional sentences in everyday conversation.
Right. And what's great about songs like this is that they give you the structure of the grammar without you having to memorize it from a textbook. You hear the patterns repeatedly, and before you know it, you're using them naturally. Now, let's look at another song that teaches grammar through the future tense, I Will Survive by Gloria Gaynor. This is another classic, and it's perfect for learning how to express things in the future tense. In the chorus, Gloria sings, "I will survive, I will survive." The verb will is used here to talk about the future, and it's a simple, straightforward way to learn the future tense. Think about it. How many times have we all sung along to this song without even realizing we're practicing future tense grammar?
Exactly, Adam. I Will Survive is a great example of how music can help you master the future tense without even thinking about it. The song repeats the phrase, I will survive, which uses the future tense structure, will plus verb. This repetition helps reinforce the pattern, and it makes the future tense feel less intimidating. You're not just learning a grammar rule, you're internalizing it in a fun and engaging way. And it's also a great way to practice the affirmative form of the future tense. As learners sing along, they start to associate the phrase I will with expressing future actions or decisions.
That's right. And the beauty of songs like I Will Survive is that they're not only teaching grammar, they're also giving you the confidence to use the grammar in your own life. You're learning how to talk about the future, but you're also tapping into the emotional power of the song, which makes the grammar more memorable. Plus, it's hard not to feel empowered when you're singing along with Gloria Gaynor.
Totally. Now, here's a fun exercise for our listeners. We want you to try this at home. Pick a song you love and spot the grammar patterns. Whether it's past tense, future tense, conditionals, or any other grammatical structure, listen closely to the lyrics and see how the song uses grammar in context. You'll be amazed at how much grammar you can learn just by paying attention to the song's structure. And remember, grammar doesn't have to be boring. It can be fun and interactive when you learn through music.
All right, listeners, we're now entering one of the most exciting and empowering parts of learning English through music, building confidence. Let's be honest, speaking a new language can feel intimidating at times, especially when you're worried about pronunciation or making mistakes. But here's the secret. Singing is one of the best ways to boost your confidence and improve your speaking skills, all while having a great time. Think about it. When you sing, you're not worried about being perfect, right? You just let go and enjoy the music. Well, the same approach can be applied to speaking English. Singing helps you get comfortable with the sounds of the language, and it's a fantastic way to practice speaking without the pressure. Plus, singing naturally helps you with things like intonation, rhythm, and pronunciation, all the things that make your spoken English sound more natural. Sophia, I know you have a personal experience with this. Tell us about your karaoke nights in English.
Ah, yes. Karaoke has been one of my favourite ways to practice English, and it has definitely helped me build confidence in speaking. When I first started learning English, I was really shy about speaking because I was worried about making mistakes. But then, I tried karaoke in English, and it was a game changer. At first, I was nervous about singing in a language I wasn't fully confident in, but once I started, I realised something. No one cares if you make a mistake while singing. The focus is on enjoying the music and the experience. I remember the first time I sang an English song at a karaoke night. I chose Let It Be by the Beatles because it's a classic, and the lyrics are easy to follow. I wasn't perfect, but I had so much fun. And the more I sang, the more I realised that I was getting better at speaking in English too. The repetition of the lyrics helped me with pronunciation, and I could hear the natural flow of the language, which made me feel more comfortable using English in conversations outside of karaoke.
That's such a great example, Sophia. And you're right, karaoke is a fantastic way to practice English without the fear of making mistakes. It's all about enjoying the process and letting go of that pressure to be perfect. When you sing, you're not only practicing the sounds of English, but also the emotional expression behind the words. That's something you can carry over into your everyday conversations. Plus, singing allows you to practice intonation and stress, which are often difficult to focus on in normal speech practice. And let's not forget, karaoke is fun. It turns language learning into a social activity, and that sense of enjoyment helps you feel more relaxed and confident. It's a way to practice English without feeling like you're studying. You're simply having fun, and at the same time, you're improving your language skills.
Exactly. And there's another great benefit to singing for confidence. You can actually record yourself while you sing and then compare your pronunciation. When you listen back to your recording, you can hear how closely your pronunciation matches the original singer. It's an excellent way to spot areas where you might need improvement, and it gives you a chance to work on those specific sounds. You'll be surprised at how much you can learn by just listening to yourself sing. Recording yourself also gives you a sense of progress. When you listen to your earlier recordings and compare them to newer ones, you'll hear how much more confident and fluent you sound. And that, my friends, is one of the best ways to track your improvement.
That's a great tip, Sophia. Recording yourself really helps you get an honest assessment of your progress. It's a little like having your own personal feedback session. And the best part is, you don't need to be perfect. Singing allows you to practice at your own pace and improve over time. The more you sing, the more confident you'll become, not just in your pronunciation, but also in speaking English in general. Here's an exercise for you listeners. Try recording yourself singing your favorite English song. Listen carefully to your pronunciation and then compare it to the original singer. What words are tricky for you? What sounds do you need to work on? And most importantly, don't be afraid to make mistakes. Just have fun with it. Singing is all about enjoying the process and celebrating your progress, no matter how small.
Absolutely, Adam. And remember, singing isn't just for karaoke nights. You can sing along to English songs anytime, whether you're in the car, in the shower, or just relaxing at home. The more you practice, the more confident you'll feel in speaking English. And before you know it, you'll be able to speak English just as naturally as you sing your favorite songs.
That's right. So, listeners, don't be afraid to grab the microphone, whether it's at a karaoke bar or in the comfort of your own home. Singing will help you improve your English and boost your confidence. All right, listeners. We've talked about how songs can help with grammar, pronunciation, and building confidence. But there's one more incredible aspect of learning English through music that we have to dive into: culture. Songs aren't just about words and sounds. They are also powerful windows into the culture, history, and emotions of the time and place they were created. Music can teach you so much about the values, struggles, and triumphs of a culture. And in the case of English language songs, it's a great way to understand the cultural context behind the language itself. Think about it. Songs reflect the stories and experiences of people. They are a direct connection to history, and when you listen to certain songs, you can feel the mood of the era. Whether it's social movements, personal struggles, or moments of celebration, songs bring those moments to life. Let's talk about a couple of examples. One song that perfectly captures social change is "Blowing in the Wind" by Bob Dylan. This song became an anthem of the civil rights movement and anti-war protests in the 1960s. The lyrics of this song are deeply connected to the social and political issues of that time, and they reflect the yearning for peace and equality. Sophia, I know you're a fan of this song. What do you think about how it reflects the cultural context of the 60s?
Absolutely, Adam. Blowing in the Wind is a perfect example of how music can be a reflection of society. When you listen to Bob Dylan's lyrics, it's clear that he's addressing the social injustices and struggles that were happening during that era. The song asks profound questions like, how many roads must a man walk down before you call him a man? These questions aren't just rhetorical. They were calling attention to the need for social change and equality. The song's simplicity and repetitive chorus made it easy for people to sing along and feel empowered, which is one of the reasons it became such an iconic protest song. What's fascinating is that the song isn't just about English. It's about the history and cultural movements of the time. It teaches you about the values of that period, and when you learn the meaning behind the song, you start to understand the social context of the language. It's not just about the words. It's about what those words meant to people at the time.
Exactly. That's the beauty of songs. They carry so much emotion and meaning beyond just the lyrics. And when you understand the history behind the song, it helps you appreciate not just the language, but also the cultural significance. Another great example is We Are the Champions by Queen. This song is a timeless anthem of motivation, victory, and perseverance. Whether it's sports, personal challenges, or overcoming obstacles, this song has been adopted in so many different contexts to inspire and energize people. What I love about We Are the Champions is that it captures the universal human experience of struggle and triumph. The lyrics, "We are the champions, my friends, and we'll keep on fighting till the end," speak to anyone who has faced challenges and emerged victorious. It's a celebration of resilience. Sophia, do you think songs like this one help learners connect with a culture's values?
Absolutely, Adam. We Are the Champions is such an empowering song. It's about victory, but not just the moment of success. It's about the journey and the struggle that leads to victory. This is why it resonates so deeply with people from all over the world. No matter where you come from, everyone understands the idea of fighting for something, overcoming difficulties, and finally achieving success. When you listen to this song, you're not just learning English, you're learning about the spirit of perseverance that's celebrated in many cultures. And it's interesting because the song also reflects a specific aspect of British culture, the idea of national pride and overcoming adversity. For many people, especially in the UK, this song is linked to sporting events like the World Cup and other competitions where teams or individuals fight against the odds. When you listen to this song, you're tapping into that cultural energy and you start to understand the values of that culture in a deeper way.
That's so true. And what's amazing is that even though this song is so strongly tied to British culture, it's become a global anthem. It's used in stadiums, celebrations, and even personal milestones all over the world. So, listeners, what we want to encourage you to do now is this. The next time you hear a song that resonates with you, take a moment to research the story behind it. Find out what it meant at the time it was written and how it connects to the culture it came from. You'll be surprised at how much richer your understanding of the language becomes when you know the cultural context.
Exactly. And the cool thing is, by learning the cultural context behind the song, you also start to see the language in a new light. You begin to understand why certain expressions, idioms, or words are used in a particular way. The language becomes more than just vocabulary. It becomes a reflection of the values and beliefs of the people who speak it. So, listeners, your task for this week is to pick a song that interests you, research its cultural background, and see how the language and message of the song tie into the culture. Trust me, you'll learn so much more than just the lyrics.
Great idea, Sophia. And remember, the world of music is full of songs that reflect different aspects of life, history, and culture. The more you understand the story behind the song, the more connected you'll feel to the language and the culture.
Absolutely. Keep practicing, stay motivated, and remember, learning through music is all about having fun. Don't forget to share your experiences with us. We're excited to hear how music is helping you grow in English.
Thanks again for joining us today. We'll see you in the next video. Until then, keep enjoying the music and learning English. Thank you.